You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
We love boobs, yes we do. We love boobs, how about you? We love boobs and we need your help to help us raise some money.
It is October 1st, which means it's time for us to start our annual breast cancer campaign. And usually we do shirts, but this year we're doing something different.
Last 3 years, we've done Hakuna Matatas. We did 3825 Cancer. Last year was the Rockers for Knockers campaign, and you guys have always been very supportive. But this year, we decided that we wanted to try and do something even bigger. Because the thing with the shirts is that, you know, we don't take a penny from them, but we have to charge a certain amount to get money for the charity.
Some people don't buy shirts because of shipping, this and that. So this year, we decided, how about a win-win for everyone? We can help out Breast Cancer Canada, and you can also get some money in your pockets. We're doing a 50-50.
That's right. And we are partnered directly with Breast Cancer Canada in this. I know a lot of stuff that we do is with the Canadian Cancer Society, helping to benefit people with all kinds of different cancers. But because of our history and because it is October and it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we decided we wanted to team up with someone who could more directly impact people who have been impacted by breast cancer itself. So Breast Cancer Canada was the perfect teammate to work together on with this. And we've also teamed up with some local businesses. We've got Sounds for Life and Topper's Pizza that have come on board.
If you want to get your 50-50 tickets right now, you can. Text the word boobs to 762-555, and we'll send you the link right meow. The jackpot already sitting at a starting $3,000 right now. And we've got early bird prizes as well. First early bird prize Monday will be an iPad.
Yes.
So if you buy some tickets now, you'll be automatically entered into that. Text boobs to 762-555. And like I said, it's a win-win for everyone. We get to help out a cause that is near and dear to our hearts. And also, you could win some money as well.
Yeah, thanks to Sounds for Life, thanks to Topper's Pizza, we were able to start with $3,000 in the pool. Winner takes half, so that's over $1,500 that we're starting with. That's ground zero.
Someone already just bought tickets. I just refreshed. That's awesome.
Yeah, friend of the show, the Martiste, just texted in to take claim for that. He's bought the first 20 tickets, and you can buy tickets for as low as $10 will get you 5 tickets. That's 5 tickets for you. $5 immediately goes to the charity Breast Cancer Canada. The other 5 goes into that jackpot. And when we've done 50-50s before for any other reason, we have seen some big numbers. This one has a lot of potential.
And the reason that we do this is been, like I said, it's near and dear to both of our hearts.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've talked about this story many times on the show. In 2019, actually, it's coming up on the 5-year anniversary of my wife passing away. She had triple negative breast cancer, was diagnosed in stage 2, progressed into 3 and 4. November 19th of 2019, she passed away after her battle with breast cancer. And every year since then, the Brock and Dalby Show has been fully committed to spending October doing what we can to raise money for breast cancer, for cancer-related charities, and this year is no exception. This may be the biggest year we've had yet.
So let's see how high we can get this jackpot going. And once again, if you want to get your tickets this morning, all you have to do is text boobs to 762-555. Like Dalby said, 5 tickets for $10, or you get 500 tickets for $100. All you have to do is just text the word boobs to 762-555. Help out a cause, maybe get yourself some cash.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
It's so nice to be back over here in the corner where the responsibilities are at a minimum. All I have to do is show up on time and not cuss for the next 3.5 hours.
It's funny because most people don't like being put in the corner, but Dalby doesn't mind.
I love it. Put baby in the corner every day, and you have the stress job over there with all the buttons.
Man, I apologize for taking the week off there, but I was sick as a dog. I literally didn't get out of bed for probably 3 days, something like that.
It was crazy, man. Like I was telling people, like I talked to him on the phone yesterday. He seemed like he was getting better, and then it was just like he's not getting better, you guys.
I'm not gonna lie, I may have had the COVID.
Really?
I don't know. That's what it felt like. It felt like it was COVID.
Honestly, man, he's been going back around. My youngest, Marcus, his teacher got COVID, had to be out for like a week.
I didn't think it was still a thing, but apparently it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So
be careful. You could be like me. I was down with the sickness.
Can you do it?
Can I do the...
Well, yeah, because everybody knows when you're sick, that's when it's the easiest to actually do it.
I don't know. I'm going to try... Ooh,
I think that's a no.
One sec. Ooh,
You're starting too high.
no, it's also in my chest still. Ooh, I can do the part.
Hey, there you go.
No,
Well,
I can't. No, I can't. I tried too hard.
Well, guys, it was good having Brock back. He's going to be off for the rest of the week now.
Ugh, I can spell it for you.
What do you mean spell it for me?
Ooh,
What, O-O-H, A-H, A-H, A-H?
Is that how you'd spell it?
Ooh, yeah.
I feel like I'd do like O-U-U,
O-U-U.
A-H, ooh, I did it that time.
You're doing monkey faces now.
I've never looked at the lyrics for this down.
I've never heard O-U-U as an ooh sound.
Ooh, you know? That's probably not how he's doing it.
That's a whole different sound. You're at the mall, you look through the window, you see something, you're like, ooh,
Hey, I did Google it.
Okay.
Is O-H-A-H-A-H-A-H-H. Oh, That doesn't feel right to me.
It gets stuck in the back of your throat. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah.
Try to stack the O's. I don't like O-H. I would have put double O. Double O-H gives you more of a ooh.
The way it's spelt is like someone's touching you and you don't want them to, and you're like, oh, Yeah, that's it's not like a...
What's that part in the middle of the song? Don't touch me, mommy.
Yeah. You'll get me too'd if you me, all right?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Someone just texted an ha.
Oh, instead of ooh,
Yeah.
talking about down with the sickness. That sounds very like if you actually say ooh, like it just sounds like someone bullying you.
Like an evil villain or something. I do think Ashley's got it down to a T. She said there has to be a W in there, so it's got to be an ooh, wah-ha-ha-ha.
Oh, the transition between the ooh and the ahs.
She said it's got to be like 4 O's and H, then W-A-A, then A-H, A-H, A-H.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. When you just try to go ooh, you sound like you're speaking English for the first time. You don't really grasp what's happening here. The W really smooths it out.
We got real hung up on the whole spelling of the lyrics of Down with the Sickness, but there's a lot of other songs that you could do this with. I mean, Korn and Freak on a Leash, he does that weird thing. I've pulled up the lyrics here.
Okay.
How would you spell da boom da banima?
I mean, da boom right away is the D-A, right? And B-O-O-M. And there's somewhere in there's got to be just like some crash test dummy style, like like MMMs.
Yeah.
And then Nina, I would N-I-N-A, right?
You're close.
Okay.
It's BOOM-DA-DA-MM-DUM-NA-EE-MA. That's boom da dum nania.
I want to see somebody at karaoke do this song, and that comes up on the screen.
I've never thought about that.
I want to see those syllables come up on the screen, and someone just nail the boom.
It should just be one of those like bars where it's like a solo. That's
Musical interlude.
Yeah. To your own interpretation, it should say.
If Becky Look at Her Butt can be in the karaoke version of Sir Mix-a-Lot, Korn singers should have to do that.
The other one that I was thinking about is remember the song Scatman?
Oh my God, which part?
Scatman. The beginning?
That's not words, though. There's no spelling in that.
There are lyrics.
Get out of here.
There are lyrics for it. How would you...
Play it again. Okay, you can go ahead and stop. I got to Scap Badooba, and I would say it's got to be SKATBADOOBA.
No T.
No T.
SKA-BADABADABADOO.
Oh, I missed a few badas.
Dash BELIDABBELY.
This is like memorizing pi. All the numbers of pi. It's 3.14. And then there's more after that, but you don't need to know it. All right?
And then the final one that I was thinking of, like, nonsense lyrics. How would you spell that?
Cuckoo. So it's I would go K-O-O, cuckoo. So K-O-O, K-O-O, cuckoo, K-A, chew.
I'm going to shut you down right now. Apparently, we've all been saying it wrong. It is not cuckoo, kachoo.
What is it?
Goo goo gajoob.
Oh.
That's what the official lyrics say. G-O-O, G-O-O, G apostrophe J-O-O-B.
J-O-O-B?
Goo goo gajoob.
I want everybody to understand that everything I've ever said in a negative light about the Beatles on this show just became justified.
You gotta remember, there was some serious drugs being taken when the Beatles were writing this music.
People want to talk about songs that get released in 2024 of like, oh, songwriting is dead, the lyrics are all dumb. You guys all idolize a song where the lyrics are goo goo gajoob.
Goo goo bajoob.
Oh, I hear it now.
It's like if you got your toddler to write the lyrics, to be honest with you.
Oh, I hate it. Gajoob just sounds bad.
Call someone a gajoob today.
No, don't do that.
It sounds so nasty.
You will get in a lot of trouble if you call someone a gajoob.
If you say the actual lyrics of the Beatles song, it could get you in trouble at work today.
Absolutely.
Goo goo gajoob to you, dude.
How dare you?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Haven't had a chance to brag, but Montreal Canadiens fans, how does it feel to lose to the Leafs twice in 1 week?
Right? How's it feel to lose twice in 1 week to the team that lost twice to Ottawa in 1 week? That sucks.
Yeah, we forget about that.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know how far back we were going.
Those games didn't matter.
Oh. I got you. Okay.
I do want to talk about that Leafs-Habs game on Saturday, because there was that like no-name Leafs player, what was it, Cedric Pear, that took out Patrick Laine on the knee there.
That's right. Yeah, a lot of people sort of saying like, how are we letting someone we don't even know have access to someone like Laine?
Well, Leafs fans saying it was a mistake, Habs fans saying it was on purpose. I don't want to get into that, but of course, I mean, he did have to answer the bell. Arbor Zajac just absolutely pummeled the guy.
Just beat the tar out of him.
Yeah,
man.
just went up, and I mean, it wasn't a fight. He literally just started wailing on the dude.
That was the guy going like, I know I have this coming. Please just end it quick.
He turtled hard.
Yeah.
I did think it was interesting. Arbor Zajac of the Habs got fined the maximum for unsportsmanlike conduct, which is $3,385.42.
That feels low.
That's all it costs just to beat somebody up.
Do you think Laine covered any of it? Like, do you think Laine, like, here you go, slide it across the table sort of thing? Thank you for your service.
Maybe? I'm just surprised at the fact of how cheap it is just to, like, punch someone.
Right. Well, especially when you think about what...
I mean, it's not cheap by, like, our standards, but,
no,
I mean...
but if you put it proportionally to what even the lowest tier of NHL player would make... That amount of money is not something you could do every game, but it's up for every now and again to be able to stand up for a teammate or just to like ragdoll someone who's pissed you off.
Let me see. Arbor Zajac makes $1.3 million a year, so $3,000 just to punch a dude isn't that bad.
Dude, that guy could fart $3,000. Like that's not a lot of money to him at the end of the day.
To punch technically one of your coworkers and just pay $3,000 for it? I guarantee you there's a lot of people that would pay some sort of money or fine rather at work to hit their coworkers.
Absolutely. Like I don't think I have anybody here. Before I worked in radio, when I worked like more like blue collar, like hands-on kind of jobs, absolutely everywhere I worked had at least one person. Like, oh dude, when I was in high school and I worked at KFC, I can think of the guy's face crystal clear. I would have given a a percentage of my paycheck.
Even just think about, like, in life, if this is the way it was, like, instead of catching an assault charge, you're like, hey, I'll pay the $3,000 fine. I'm sorry, I was Black Friday shopping. Things got a little out of hand. You're sitting in traffic and someone cuts you off. You catch them at the next red light. Catch them with a hook. You're like, I'll pay the fine.
The officer rolls up and you're just like, here's a check. I'm sorry. Anyway, moving on. See you next week.
It was unsportsmanlike by me.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
It's not assault. It's unsportsmanlike conduct.
Man, I'm sorry I'm late for work today. I caught an unsportsmanlike in the drive-thru at Tim's this morning. The guy ordered 4 breakfast sandwiches before 8 a.m.
762-555. Would you catch an unsportsmanlike conduct fine if it meant that you could hit some of your coworkers? Yes or no? Let's do a survey here. I'm guaranteeing it's going to be majority yes.
Be honest with us and yourselves today.
There's a lot of bosses that could be catching some strays.
There's a lot of bosses that are like, we cannot do this.
Imagine sitting in the HR meeting. Would you like to take the unsportsmanlike conduct? Or?
I took up a collection around the office. Just drop a coffee can full of change. I'd like 5 minutes with the boss, please.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Do you feel like having a pet at home is a valid excuse for getting out of going to do stuff?
I mean, I guess it depends on what the excuse is. I will say most people feel worse about pets getting sick than their friends.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And when you have like a sick dog or a sick cat, I can see that as being a valid excuse. Like, you want to stay with them. You don't want them to... If nothing else, you don't want them to, like, throw up on your stuff.
If I have a buddy who cancels plans because his girlfriend's sick, I'm like, that's lame.
Yeah.
But if he was like, oh, dude, my dog's really not doing well, I'm like, oh man, that's terrible.
It is funny to think that that's the case. Like, even if I told you, I was like, hey, man... Like when we had our bowling team. Can't come out to bowling tonight. I got one of the kids is sick at home. You might say like, oh, okay, well, like I hope they get better. But when we hang up the phone, you're probably going like, oh,
that's whack.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
But if I had called you and been like, hey, man, Penny's really sick and like crapping on the carpet and stuff like that, I want to make sure she's okay. There's no argument to that.
Yeah, I mean, even I've had to stay home from work before because my dogs got sprayed by a skunk.
That's right.
You could use that as an excuse, honestly, right?
Now, can you go, because I could play the card of like, hey, man, I can't come out to a thing tonight. I just want to spend some time with the kids. They've been having a rough go or whatever it is. I just want to spend time with my dog a valid excuse? Or is that... Have you now pushed it too far?
I think if you have a new puppy, it's actually valid because you're like, hey, like we just got this new dog. I don't want to leave it home alone. I don't want to put him in the crate, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right? New
puppy or new baby? Which one is a more valid excuse in your mind?
Probably the baby now.
I was just curious as to what side of the coin you'd fall on that one.
But I think with like pets in general, it all depends on the type of pet. Like if your dog's sick, I feel bad. But if you're like, my hamster's really sick, I'm like, all right, dude, grow up.
Put him in the cage with the shavings. He'll be right where you left him.
Yeah, he'll survive. But I mean, you could use a ton of excuses for like why your dog's sick. Like they're legit sick. Maybe they just had surgery. Maybe they got into your edibles.
That's it. Maybe they got into almost any kind of food. Like, oh man, I left a half a Big Turk on the table. My dog ate it. I got to make sure he's okay today.
Even, man, if you called me and you were like, I can't come out tonight because my dog is missing.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best excuses you could use because everyone's going to feel bad for you.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, dog got out, bolted out the door. We got to look for him.
And you can lie about that one. You can't lie about your kid missing, though.
That is very true. If you say that your kid is missing and it's not on the news, if there's not an Amber Alert going out,
yeah,
then you're probably caught in the lie.
Yeah.
Although I would say this, and I'm not judging you for this as a person, but I feel like if I told you that one of the kids was missing, you'd be like, oh my God, I hope the authorities like find them. If I told you my dog was missing, you'd probably offer to come to my neighborhood and help me look.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is we all care about dogs and pets so much that that's almost a bad excuse. Because if you're like, oh man, the dog got out, we got to go walk around the neighborhood. you might be like, all right, man, I'm on my way.
Also, I feel like I'm more judgmental if your kids are missing than if
for
you're
sure.
Like,
because it's a way different story. If you're like, oh, dude, I opened the door to like check the mail. The dog got out, ran down after a squirrel. I don't know what to do. Versus, yeah, I opened the door and my kid just ran away. Like, why? What happened? Why didn't you follow them? Why can't you outrun a child?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
got a friend of the show, Renee, on the phone. Renee, do you think pets are a valid excuse for bailing on plans?
Some can be. I own a little farm, and the only thing I tell my buddies is that the bull got loose again.
I didn't even think about farm animal excuses.
Yeah, I think if somebody told me I can't come to whatever the event is, my bull got loose, I would almost think like, you're making that up.
Well, how many times do you hear about farmers' cows getting out, right?
True.
Exactly. Mine get loose all the time. The bulls and the cows get loose and they go on the road all the time. They break their fence.
Now, is that a little bull or is that honest?
That's honest.
You hear that? He's like, guys, you're blowing my cover here. All right, well, fair enough. You've given us a whole different angle perspective to look at here.
Thanks, guys. Great show.
Take
Cheers,
care,
man.
buddy.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I mean, if you own a farm, you've got a plethora of excuses.
Well, let me run through some options here, and you tell me viable or non-viable excuse, or like how good an excuse it is. So I think if someone tells me their bull got out,
You have to have a bull first off.
you have to have a bull. We have to previously establish that you have this animal. Is a bull a valid excuse?
I'd say yes.
Cow?
Yes.
Now, what about a horse? If you again, you have horses, you ride whatever. Oh, dude, my horse got out of the fence.
I think even if you don't own a farm, you could be like, man, I just got a call from the stable. My horse is on the loose now.
Yeah.
We got
But
a wild stallion out there.
Again, you do have to establish a history of riding horses. This can't be the first day.
Yeah, that's how you find out that I'm a horse boy. Yeah.
Okay, now we talked about dogs, and we are both in agreement. Dog, viable excuse. What about a cat?
Cat, not as much, because people just let their cats roam around. I would say if you called me, it doesn't even have to be your cat.
Right.
And I think this could work for dogs as well. If you called me and was like, dude, I just hit a cat.
Oh.
Night ruined. I can't come out now.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I get that, man.
You got to mess up your bumper a little bit, though. If you're making that up, you can't come in with a spotless car the next day.
Perfect around Halloween time because you just go to Spirit, smear a little,
Some... Oh my God.
make it look legit.
Now, we've talked about kids here and there. Kids, valid excuse.
Yeah.
If you've got them, obviously.
Sure.
What about in-laws? Like, have you ever used Courtney's family as an excuse to get out of stuff?
In-laws are in town is an absolute valid excuse because that's just a bummer for a lot of people.
Right.
So a lot of people can relate to that.
That's true. Nobody is, if you invoke the in-law card, no one is like, oh, I bet he's faking it so he could stay at home. Like, no, everybody's like, oh, man, R.I.P., that sucks.
Even in general, if you're like, I have family in town, that's a valid excuse. Right?
Grandparents, aunts, uncles, especially. As the family member gets older, the excuse gets easier and easier to use because either they're in town or maybe like, oh, you know what, my grandma's not feeling well, like I'm going to go see her, whatever it is. Right up to the point, obviously, of like, I had a family member die. That's a card you cannot play too often.
100%, yeah.
What about buddy from out of town?
That's a good one. I mean, you could just be like, man, my buddy just showed up.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right?
That's another one, though, that you can't use that card too often because, like, how many buddies you got from out of town just rolling up?
Mr. Popular, yeah.
Yeah. That's one you can use, like, maybe once every 6 months or so. And other than that, everybody's going to be like, oh, yeah, sure, okay.
Well, you just make him sound like a burden, right? You'd be like,
Right.
my buddy just broke up with his girlfriend. He just showed up at my house. He's got nowhere to go.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you look like a great guy.
You look good. You're sacrificing the reputation of a friend, but if that friend's not from around here, then that's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
You got to make sure to reciprocate. Hey, if you ever need to get out of stuff where you live, just tell them I came to town.
Yeah.
I'll be your boat anchor out there.
I am such a nice guy that I would never usually bail on plans, but I'll always help you out.
Podcast exclusive.
Yeah, my daughter actually had to tell me this yesterday. A good excuse is when a rad hose goes on your vehicle.
Oh, anything with your car, yeah.
Oh, yeah, anything.
but it's got to be well known that your car is kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, if you just bought a brand new car and you're like, oh man, the rad's going.
Actually, if you just bought a new car, I might even feel worse for you.
Then you're in lemon territory?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you've had like a year.
One of my really good friends, her name's Kathleen. Anyway, she just bought a new Jeep, and she hasn't been able to drive it for 2 months because they keep fucking her over because a differential went on it.
You know what? Jeep is probably the number one excuse car, I would say.
Think so?
I believe it. Jeeps are just known for breaking down all the time. You either have a Jeep and nothing happens to it for the rest of the time, or you buy it and it's just an absolute shit show.
Yeah, it's all or nothing.
Once Dodge bought them out, they were screwed.
I didn't even know that happened.
The old Jeep J7s, they were nice. Sorry, I'm not a Dodge fan.
It's a Jeep thing. You wouldn't understand it.
Yeah. Or you could just call in and say, look, you're my only phone call. I just got busted for another impaired.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Pete Rose passed away yesterday. Legendary baseball player passed away at the age of 83. No word on the cause of death, though.
Excuse me. Put some respect on the man's name. Hall of Famer Pete Rose.
No, he's not.
Absolutely he is. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Was he?
He absolutely was. Yeah. Every year at WrestleMania for a long time, he would come out and get beat up by Kane.
Oh, that's right.
And so they put him in the WWE. That's the only Hall of Fame ring that he got was WWE.
Now, here's the thing. If he does get inducted into the Professional Baseball Hall of Fame, if he goes to Cooperstown after he passes, that is such a slight, in my opinion.
I don't think they should be allowed. And I know that, like, this is supposed to be about him, but I think that this is an opportunity for Cooperstown, Major League Baseball, and the Writers Association that does all the nominating and selecting and all that to try and make themselves feel good or to look good by posthumously putting it in. No, if you didn't have the balls to put Pete Rose where he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame while he was alive, let him come out, get a ring, and celebrate, then you shouldn't be allowed to put him in now just so you can have a feel-good moment.
The only people that should really be celebrating Pete Rose is gambling websites. I think today only, DraftKings should give you a free $14 in honor of number 14.
Bet99 allows you to pick one game in Major League Baseball and put some money down on it.
Dude, they should have like 14-team parlays. Oh, it's a shame baseball just finished.
Oh,
you could have done the Pete Rose parlay.
Oh, fair enough.
Rest in peace to a legend, man.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Oh, my God.
Dude.
We launched our breast cancer campaign, which is a 50-50 for this year. If you want to get tickets, text BOOPS to 762-555. We started this 20-something minutes ago.
At about 8:30, essentially.
Over $6,000 right now for the total jackpot.
You guys have bought over $3,000 in 50-50 tickets in less than half an hour to move the jackpot to over $6,000. The take-home prize, $3,042 as of right now. Sorry, someone else just bought more tickets. It's now $30.55.
This is amazing.
Unbelievable.
This what a start, dude.
Yeah, this is just the start, guys. We are going to be selling tickets all the way from now until November 1st at 8 a.m. November 1st, 8 a.m., we do the draw. Half the money that we raise goes to Breast Cancer Canada, directly impacting the lives of people afflicted with this terrible disease. And the other half will also change someone's life because it'll go directly to them.
I don't mean to make you emotional, but Nicole would be so proud right now.
Someone texted in and it was like, it has to be tough every year. You can hear the emotion I get in my voice sometimes about, like, we spend a whole month talking about the disease that killed my wife, right? And it's tough, but I think about she was such a caring and giving person. You knew her. Mm-hmm. And she would be so blown away at the money that we've raised from the shirts, from all the different dumb things you and I have come up with to do to raise money for this. But if she was sitting here in the room right now and saw that you guys had bought $3,000 in 50-50 tickets, she would be blown away. And it's so cool, man. I just keep hitting refresh. It just sold another $300 in tickets.
This is amazing. And this is for Nicole, and this is for everyone else who has battled breast cancer, that we've lost to breast cancer. This is for anyone who's gone through it.
It's one of those things that it's such a prevalent thing that even if you don't have that direct person like I do, there's someone likely in your family, at your work, in your life that you know that is either a survivor or currently fighting or has fought, whatever the case might be. And charities like Breast Cancer Canada do so much to further the cause, and that we were able to team with them and that it's going this well already. I'm just so excited to see what we can do for the rest of the month.
For more Brock and Dalby, tune in weekday mornings 5:30 to 9.
The Brock and Dalby podcast is brought to you by badshop.ca, the Brock and Dalby merch store, with all proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society.